Here in Germany, I could not work as a radiographer. So first, I needed to convert my medical imaging sciences education to the MTRA education in Germany. This is the process I took for the Anerkennung in Deutschland, or recognition of education in Germany. I went to the website of Anerkennung in Germany to search all the required information. You can search as recognition in Germany or Anerkennung in Deutschland. One is the translation of the other, and you go to the official portal or official website. You can choose the preferred language. I go with English. As I said before, the recognition is not for everyone. So here you can choose for skilled workers, for advisors, for employers. I will go with skilled workers, and then you get the information. Would you like to work in your profession in Germany? Actually, if you intend to move to Germany, then better you start the process earlier, and here you can put the profession. So for me, I go with radiographer. You put the job title and the course you did, and it tells you these profiles matches the medical laboratory assistant, which is not the case. Here it's the medical technologist in radiology. After you selected your profession, you can see your place of work, your profile, counseling offers, your procedure. All this you have to fill. You will then get a short description of what your profession translates to in Germany and the responsibilities that comes along with it. This will help you to better understand if you chose the right profession in the beginning, Here it says your profession is a medical technologist in radiology. That's what it translates in Germany, and then it gives you the kind of activities that your profession entails, and then field of work, and then you can go to the next. After that, you have to choose the place where you intend to go and work, or the region where you intend to go and live and work, because the process has to be done in the region you are intending to work. So for instance, in my case, I wanted to work in Bayern or Bavaria. So I had to do my process in Bavaria. But even in Bavaria, you can only do the process in the region you are living. That is what you have to take into account to know where you're going to apply for this process. You can't just randomly apply in any place. But I don't know if you're away, like if you're still at home or your home country, if it's different. But in my case, because I was already in Germany, I had to apply for the process of Anerkennung in the area where I am registered. I would choose Munich. Let's say Munich, Bavaria, München, or There are different regions. I will take Munich, Bavaria. And then, do you have a nationality of an EU country, Norway, Ireland, or that? So this is where we draw the line. If you don't have this nationality, you automatically need the recognition, because it means your study is outside EU. Then, do you come from one of the following states? There are specific regulation for some states. I think if you come from this exempted states, then maybe the regulation or the process is different. Of course it is, because I can see here US and UK. Unfortunately, if you come from a third world country, the process is going to be long. Where did you complete your training or your degree? These are the kind of questions you will get. In the EU, no, in another state. Yeah, then do you already live in Germany? You get that kind of question. In this case, yes or no, depending on where you are applying from. At this point is where you get to know whether you need the Anerkennung process or the recognition process to be done. In short, this is the point you get to know whether your degree is recognized in Germany or not, and whether you will need to convert it to the German equivalent. During the recognition procedure, a check is made to identify whether your profession qualification is equivalent to the relevant German professional. The second process, after you've discovered that you need the Anerkennung, because some courses don't need Anerkennung. Most courses outside medical sector don't need Anerkennung. So you've realized that you need Anerkennung. You've known the area where you want to apply. The third process is to make sure you have the German language level that it is recommended. But all this, once you search into the Anerkennung in Deutschland website, you will get all the information. So in my case, I needed, because it was a medical course, I needed to have B2 German level before I can apply for the Anerkennung process. After I got my B2 certificate, I applied. But before applying for the process, I did a consultation, which was important, but it is not a must you do. This consultation is done free and you can apply it in the region you are staying. So in the Bundesland you can just search consultation recommended from Anerkennung in Germany, and then it will give you the area where you're supposed to send your documents. And then from the consultation, they are going to send you all the required documents that you need to submit for the actual processing of Anerkennung in Deutschland, or of converting your non-EU education to EU standard. So after they send you all the documents, you can now apply and submit all the papers to the actual department in your area for the processing. So this is where it takes quite a lot of time. The consultation in my case did take a lot of time, but still quite long, because the time it took was not the time stated in the website. And the excuse was, there is corona, we have a lot of backlog from the previous years, so. Maybe now it is different and it's faster, but that is what I did. It's not a must to do the consultation. If you don't want, you can skip, but for me, I find it important because they basically give you a checklist of the documents you will need for the actual processing of converting your Kenyan and EU education to German standard. So it's easy for you to gather the documents. During the recognition procedure, a check is made to identify whether your professional qualification is equivalent to the relevant German professional qualification. So in this state, it means you are not allowed to work in this case in the medical sector without your education being compared to the equivalence of Germany. So here it says, do you want to get an advice? This is where I was saying this is optional, but for me, I had to take the counseling process because I really didn't know what documents they require, and I thought this was really helpful. So in this case, yes, I would like personal advice and help with the application, or no, I don't need any help and I would like to continue. So I choose yes, and it says information on your details. So your professional is -- your place of work is -- the profession of medical in radiology is regulated in Germany, meaning or bedeutet, dass du musst Anerkennung machen. You can't work without your education being analyzed, because it's a regulated job. A job in the medical sector is a regulated. If it's not regulated, you don't need the process to be done. Recognition of your professional qualification is necessary for you to be able to work in the profession. The counseling center supports you with the recognition. Then you can submit the application to the competent authority. The competent authority checks the equivalence of your profession. Here they've put it, to be clear, it might currently take some time to get an appointment of a counseling center. However, you can already get information about the recognition procedure, and as the website states, it might currently take some time to get an appointment at a counseling center. However, you can already get information about the recognition procedure under your procedure. I think because of this Chancenkarte or the opportunity card, many people want to move to Germany and they're in the medical sector, meaning they have to get their education regulated before they are able to work here. So this makes the counseling center or the education center that converts the whatever have a bulk of work. So just so you know, it will take long. But I think a tip is, if you go to the big city, which Munich is one of the big city, you are going to get a lot of backlog. I would assume that far in the village, the counseling center may not have a lot of backlog. And then you get information where you are going to get your Anerkennung. So here it says a distance 1.7 Kilometer, IQ Anerkennung und Qualifizierung, Beratung, München und Umgebung. So if you are living in Munich and the surrounding, this is the counseling center you need to apply for advice or for your papers to be seen before you can apply for the main recognition process. The counseling process I did in Augsburg, and then after the process was done for me to be given the advice on all the things I need to submit, I proceeded to do the process in Munich. During the counseling process, they are going to check whether you chose the right profession for the recognition process. Maybe you had translated the profession wrongly. Any question you have, they will have to answer. And by the way, I did the counseling in English, so that time I didn't really need my B2. So that's why I actually decided to do the counseling process while waiting to get my B2 certificate. So during this time, I was studying B1 and B2. So you can also do that. It does not cost you anything. And then they will check whether you have any other alternative for the recognition process and whether you have submitted the correct document. But if you want to skip this part of counseling, you can always go directly to the department in your region which does the evaluation of your non-EU education. In my case, I had to do it from Regierung von Oberbayern, that was in Munich, but this one was a suggestion from the counseling center. Actually, from the body that does the recognition or the analyzation of your education also has the checklist of the documents they need for the process. So you don't need to do the counseling if you don't want, but that's what I did. And during this time I was doing my Deutsch course, which was a win, yeah. And it anyways take long. So while waiting, you can do something else in parallel. And maybe this time the requirements have changed. The people who did it before me, they also maybe needed different documents from what they had asked me. So this feedback they give you is actually designed for an individual. After the counseling, the process itself took really long. The analyzing of my education actually took more than a year. That was from July 2021 to March 2023. Yeah. A tip I have for you if you decide to do the counseling process is that while you're doing the counseling process, you have to translate your documents to German, because the actual process of analyzing your documents to the relevance of German standards, it's done in German and all your documents need to be in German. A thing to note while looking for translators is that you have to look for translators who are notarized and their work is accepted in Germany if you're doing it from outside the country. So you can look for these translators from German embassy in your home country, or if you're doing it in Germany, you just have to make sure that these ones are notarized translators, which means their work will be accepted. If you just take a random translator, they won't accept the translation, and translation is really expensive. So if you can do it at home with the notarized translators, well and good. If you can do it here, it will cost you, but it will be, of course, accepted. So those are just the tips I think I have. Translation also takes time. Everything takes time. So if there is a way you can skip the process, then well and good. I also want to mention that the Anerkennung process that I'm talking about is for skilled workers, those who don't want to maybe go immediately to school and work with their foreign education. But if you want to go to school, the process is a little bit different and short. So that one, you go to another body like DAAD. I've forgotten the other one, analyzing your high school and to see if you can get to uni directly, or you need to do a substitute course before applying for a course in uni. But if you want to do Ausbildung, the apprenticeship program, you really don't need to go through all this process of recognition, whether it's your high school or your degree. Yeah, you don't really need that. But if you want to go to uni, you need an Anerkennung, which states whether you need to do a supplementary subject like mathematics, English, biology, depending on the course you are choosing, or if your university is recognized, like some of the universities from the list, like the UON, the University of Nairobi, JKUAT, there are some of the universities that they are recognized. So you really don't need to do this process, and you can apply for masters or you can apply for bachelor program. So let's get to the second part.